Henry had always been a sociable man. Even in his 70s, he loved catching up with friends, attending family gatherings, and visiting neighbors whenever he had the chance. But over the past year, he began to notice subtle changes, not just in his own stamina, but in the reactions of those around him. Invitations felt less warm, conversations more strained, and his energy seemed to drain faster after visits. Gradually, he realized there might be a reason why, in old age, it was often said that one should avoid going visiting around too frequently. The first reason became clear to Henry when he considered health and energy management. As people age, physical endurance naturally declines. What once seemed like a short walk to a neighbor's house or a casual afternoon visit could now feel exhausting. Henry remembered a day when he had gone to three separate houses in one afternoon. By the end of the last visit, he felt weak, dizzy, and mentally fatigued. It wasn't just the walking or the climbing of stairs, it was the cumulative energy required to engage socially, maintain polite conversation, and navigate unfamiliar environments. Older adults often underestimate how much effort social visits demand, and overextending oneself could compromise health rather than enhance it. Second, Henry noticed emotional strain. In his younger days, social visits were a source of joy, but now they sometimes brought subtle anxiety or tension. Conversations could unintentionally drift toward topics that felt sensitive, like health, finances, or family disputes. People might compare their accomplishments or gently criticize choices, and while it wasn't malicious, the effect on Henry was draining. Older adults often carry a lifetime of experiences, and each interaction can trigger memories, reflections, or worries. By minimizing unnecessary visits, they protect their emotional well-being, conserving energy for meaningful positive interactions rather than obligatory social rounds. Another reason became evident: respecting others' schedules and boundaries. Henry noticed that younger family members, neighbors, and friends often had their own routines and responsibilities. Frequent visits, especially unannounced ones, could unintentionally disrupt their day. Children might be napping, adults occupied with work, or hosts might be preparing meals. While Henry meant no harm, constant social calls could strain relationships. Avoiding excessive visits was not about isolation, but about preserving harmony and showing respect for others' time, which in turn maintained stronger bonds rather than creating small tensions over repeated interruptions. Henry also realized the risk of spreading illness. In old age, immune systems weaken, making even minor infections more impactful. Visiting multiple households, especially during cold and flu season, increased exposure to germs. On one occasion, he remembered catching a cold after attending a neighborhood gathering, which left him bedridden for several days. Limiting visits, particularly to larger groups or public settings, was a practical way to protect health while still maintaining meaningful social connections. Mental clarity and cognitive energy was another consideration. Social interactions, while rewarding, require attention, memory, and emotional regulation. Each visit demanded remembering names, stories, and past events, navigating nuanced conversations, and responding appropriately to subtle social cues. Over time, Henry noticed that back-to-back visits left him mentally fatigued, with less patience for meaningful dialogue. By pacing social interactions and choosing quality over quantity, he could preserve mental sharpness and enjoy conversations more fully. Henry observed a cultural dimension as well, maintaining dignity and autonomy. In old age, being constantly present in others' homes or events could unintentionally create dependence or expectation. Relatives might feel obliged to entertain, assist, or care for him more than necessary, which could subtly shift the dynamic. By limiting visits, Henry preserved his own independence and allowed family and friends to maintain their routines without feeling overextended. Another insight Henry gained was the value of reflection and solitude. Time spent alone in old age is not loneliness, it is restorative. It allows for contemplation, journaling, reading, or simply resting. These quiet moments help maintain emotional balance, spiritual peace, and mental clarity. Frequent social engagements, while enjoyable, can crowd out these essential periods of reflection. By pacing visits, older adults safeguard space for themselves, cultivating a sense of calm and fulfillment. Lastly, Henry understood that selectivity in social interaction enhances meaning. When visits are limited and intentional, they become more special, appreciated, and memorable. A well planned gathering, phone call, or brief visit carries more joy than a constant series of obligatory rounds. Older adults can focus on deeper, more meaningful connections rather than spreading themselves too thin. Over time, Henry embraced the wisdom in the saying. He still visited friends and family, but he did so intentionally, considering his energy, health, and the quality of the interaction. He realized that in old age, socializing was not about frequency, but about depth. By choosing visits wisely, he protected his health, preserved his dignity, maintained emotional balance, and strengthened meaningful connections. In doing so, he discovered that less can indeed be more, and that the right balance between solitude and social engagement was a key to a longer, happier life.